Oh man, even when I'm not streaming, I am still scuffed because of what happened yesterday. But hello everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome in! Thanks so much for stopping by. It's good to see you. Oh boy, let me like adjust myself a little bit. Hold up, there we go. That's good. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome in, Zero. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome in, everybody. I'm gonna be honest. I've been going through a lot of roller coasters for the past, week. So, and I've also been socializing a lot more than I usually do. So I'm very tired. But I wanted to stream and keep up with everything. So, today is just a work, you know, a sewing chat day, you know. Yap about random stuff while also working on sewing, and it's kind of good. It's kind of great. Actually, right now, I'm gonna log my hours for what I've done so far. I think I've technically done another hour of work, so we'll just say it's 4 hours now. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, today. I just am pretty exhausted. I've been hanging out with friends, which is fantastic. It's socializing with friends is great. But my social battery has not been this extended. Danganronpa to Spare Time comes back today? Oh, that's right, it does. And also, another thing to mention, thinking of Danganronpa, but we move from Danganronpa to Ace Attorney. It is Ace Attorney Day! Yippee! I would play Among Us, but right now I'm too tired. I don't want to be social. Rat Havoc, welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to see you. Thank you, thank you. I hope you're doing well today. Yoinky sploinky, yoink. But thank you, Ace Attorney. We now have all except one Ace Attorney game available on on all systems. Like right now, we have every single Ace Attorney except for Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Which makes sense. Because that game's a little bit weird. Because it's a crossover with Level 5. And Level 5, is a little bit... You know, I love them. Very fun studio. They make great games. But also irritate me. Because I'm just like, please, give us... Can we get it, like, I'm genuinely begging Level 5 to re-release all of their Professor Layton games as bundles like they did with Ace Attorney. I still don't know who the culprit of for Chapter 2 of the Spare Time? Oh, right, let me see. I don't remember. Yeah, it's that one. It's the fan one. there's like so many fan Danganronpas. It's been a minute that it's like I've been keeping up with, and then after a while I stopped because I was keeping up with another one. But yeah, it's good. I yoink it and the splink go off. Goodbye. The yoink said nope. No yoink. But yeah, today is just chill. God, it's been so much work, but also like energy like just also like having a lot of close shaves. So at the let me fix myself up. At the moment, I'm currently working on like a big project, I guess, to give like a little bit of context. And we have this sort of, I guess the best way to describe it is like a executive above us right now. And all of our groups are pitching ideas for making games, basically. Making games and, like, doing all that kind of stuff. Working on those projects. They dropped a ball yesterday and basically dictated which, games can go ahead for now. And it was much smaller. Like, there was a ton of games that people were thinking of going with ideas with. And a lot of them just got nuked. Like, gone immediately, said, nope, you can't do this. And mine, like, I'm already in a team of people. So the idea of, like, just one day the teacher says, no. Well, teacher, yeah, but also executive, I guess. But, like, the executive just says, no, get out of here. And it's like, find a new group. And I'm like, like, the amount of panic that is, where it's like, oh, you can just nuke anything at any second. That terrifies me because we've already put so much work into our project that the idea that one day he just goes, no, don't use it, and I'm like, no, I want to, but I know you're the executive, so I have to listen to what you say, because you're the one giving me permission to do what I want to do. But, you know, it's just scary. It was just that thing, but also, like, the stress of, like, so what are we supposed to do now? Yeah, that do be the feeling of, like, fuck. But we got the green light for now, which is good. We got the green light, we've got the thing of, like, okay, we're good for now. We can keep going for the next few weeks. There's another green light where it's like the official green light of like, we are fully ready. Like, I approve of the project. I approve of your stuff. I approve of your work. So you can finish production. That's the next thing we're looking at, basically, which is not far. It's like a few weeks from now, which isn't bad, but also just is scary. Because we gotta, like, figure out a bunch of stuff for that. It's fine, though. We're good. We'll be fine. We'll be good. For now. Like, so we're just gonna do our best to, keep going with our project. Because we adore it. We want to keep going. We think it has potential. We'll just see what happens, you know? We'll just see. We will see. And hopefully nothing goes wrong and no one is stupid. Because people in a lot of groups are stupid. No judgment fully, but also, like, y'all stupid sometimes. Some people be very stupid, and it, like, surprises me how stupid they can be. It's like, bruh, what? What you doing? Buddy, pal, sir, madam, my friend. Chill, you fucking ass. But yeah, it's just been a stressful couple weeks. I also have to worry about, family coming by. I have a lot of family coming in next month, I believe. I think it's next month. And it's gonna be pretty hectic because they are very much, like, get up and go people. And it's the side of my family of that is huge. Like, huge family. So I'm gonna be surrounded by people again. And have to socialize again. And it's like, fuck. Anyway. Love my family. I'm just an introvert. And my introverted ass just needs to sit on my butt and you know, just sew for like 10 hours on end. And then I'm good. I'm fine, you know? Socializing for like 8 hours, I'm dead. I want to sleep. I want to curl up in a cocoon of blankets and then just go eepy-seepy nighttime, you know? I just get eepy-seepy and it's great. I also was worried for a time because I felt myself not getting sick, but like feeling myself get close to under the weather. Like sometimes you can recognize when you're gonna get sick in a way. Like your body is like more sluggish, you're a bit more like exhausted, you're trying to like get stuff done. It's a little bit difficult, but like I wasn't sick. It was just like I sat down and like stared at the mirror one day and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good, I'm gonna go. So it's like I have to work, but I got this going on and it's like crap. And so on and so forth. It's a lot. It's just a lot, but we do our damnedest. We do our damnedest to be well. It's great. I'll be fine though. I'll be fine. I'm taking medicine and wellness formula, so I'm good. But how about you guys? How have you guys been? I hope y'all been well and saw my mix-up in the Discord. It was great. Like my clock has been so messed up that I thought yesterday was Friday, but it was Thursday. So I was like so confused for like half a minute, and it's like, oh, I did a scuff again. Yippee. You know, branded scuff. I've been pretty good. That's good. You know, sometimes you just gotta have a chill time. I'm glad that you've been good though. That's good. That's good. You don't want bullshit. And bullshit makes us annoyed and or tired and or sad. Oh man, so I guess I can discuss a couple things coming up because I'm gonna be I added the fans, but I don't have the ability to make the wings pink or colors, so I went with normal red, blue, green. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah. I thought those would have, I'm sure you could have like color changers on them, but I guess that makes sense as to why they're like stuck as the monochromatic colors. Maybe you could like have fun and just go wee and just like mix and match them so they like look like different colors. I don't know. It's been a minute, but good job. Nice. I will say a couple things because if y'all don't know, I'm sure most of y'all do because I talk about it a lot, but this October is it comes in my 2-year anniversary of being a streamer. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have anything planned for that anniversary. I have probably something planned for next year, like next October, but for this October, I don't really have anything to go on. Besides maybe Demo Day. Demo Day would be like the next thing I would probably go for. Which, I'm fine with another demo day. Y'all send me demos of various games. I find a couple demos of various games I want to play. And then, we just have fun playing through a bunch of games for, like, either the allotted time of the demo or for, like, an hour, maybe. And we just do a long-ass stream. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with doing that. I'm okay, but if you guys have any suggestions of what we could do for 2 years, I have one other thing I want to do for this anniversary, but it's gonna take me time to actually do it because it's either I'm gonna finish it during October or December, which because of time it's annoying, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on. We'll see. God, it's just good to like sit down and like vibe after a while. I've been like non-stop movement for like the past few days. Like I've not stopped going, I've not stopped going headstrong, I've not stopped to just sit down and chill. I've just been like, go, 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 and it's like, can I get a minute to rest, please? I just need 1 minute, please, thank you. And they're like, fine, you get 3 hours. And it's like, yay. But we'll probably, tomorrow, most likely, we will do, Catriel, and then, I'm, like, genuinely I'm gonna ask this, how long is Catriel? Like, hold on, how long is Catriel? Because I thought we'd be almost done by now. I thought we'd be almost done with Catriel. How many cases are there in Catriel? Oh yeah, playing Dream Team the other day, an inky piranha spawned in the background? That's funny. What? How many chapters are there? There are 12? There are 12. 12! What do you mean 12? That's like the longest chapters that Ace Attorney that Professor Layton has ever had. What do you mean 12? We're on 10. Oh my, I guess we're getting close, but there's 12? What do you mean? Okay, hold up. I know how, there are 10 chapters technically in, I consider them 10 chapters, but there are 10 chapters in Azran Legacy because I divide every island as their own chapter, but there's technically 6. There's like, what, 8 chapters in Miracle Mask? And it's been 10 chapters for, like, what, let me check, Jesus. Okay, so the first game has, 9 chapters, which is like, okay, fair. The 4th game, hold up, let's see. How many chapters does the 4th game have? We don't count the prologue, because the prologue is just introductions. Oof, boy. Oh boy, that hurt, but it's fine. Come on. How many chapters in the 4th game? Because that's like the closest next one. There's 10, not including the prologue and the epilogue, which is just cutscenes. Like, that's just cutscenes and one puzzle. I don't count those. I don't count the epilogue and the prologue. So, that's technically 10 for the 4th game. What about the Unwound Future? That's the 3rd game. I get my brain is like blah. The 3rd game. Oh boy, excuse me. Like I said, exhausted little bean right here. It's fine. Come on, give me what I want. How many are in the 3rd game? How many chapters? Okay. Okay, the 3rd game technically has the longest amount with 13. But that's 1 chapter. How does... Wait, hold on, wait fucking minute. How does the third game, the game with all of the build up of being in the future and the mystery of figuring out how you've got into the future with future Luke and all that shit, that takes 13 chapters because of all the revelations that come in. But why is the spin-off Catriel Mysteries with with no full connection to a story? How was that 12 chapters? How was that one 12 chapters? Hold on. Almost every other Layton game is 10 chapters, and if not 10, less. The only one that is more. Hold up. What's the diabolical box? Hold up, I gotta read the diabolical box. What's the diabolical box? Fucking. How many chapters in the diabolical box? I think there was only 10. No! 7! There was only 7! Okay. Wow, okay. So how come Catriel gets 12? 12! What do you mean? My favorite Ace Attorney, I keep saying Ace Attorney because it's Ace Attorney Day. My favorite Layton game only gets 7 chapters, so it concisely puts itself together. But Catriel has stories, quote unquote, that is bro, I'ma scream. They must have liked her. Most people didn't though. Bro. God. God. Damn, that is so long. And they're easily 2 hours worth of content. It takes me 2 hours to get through them if I'm not rushing through them. 2 hours to do the Catriel stuff. Bitch, that's 3 more streams. What the fuck? How you got that much content for Catriel when literally, I'm gonna be honest, not many people like her. Not many people like Catriel, bro. Oh boy, do I get into my thoughts about, the game right now? Because I could talk about my thoughts on, so far, on Catriel and them. I could talk about my thoughts so far. I could talk about my thoughts, man. I could talk about my thoughts. And it's do I? Do I? She's a character of all time. She is indeed the character of all time. She is indeed a character. Oh, do I talk about my thoughts about Catriel? I just, Do I? That's the question. I could. I don't give a fuck. I probably will. Anyway. So, I'm gonna be honest. Catriel would not be the protagonist I would have selected to be the successor to Professor Layton. Because of a couple of reasons. I'm gonna be honest. So the main appeal of, Professor Layton to me was all of, the cohesive mystery that came into it. Along with how Layton and Luke, reacted to the story. Anytime I play a Professor Layton game, or a Professor Layton equivalent, it's got this big story. A story that connects basically everything. Layton isn't around, true. Basically, it's oh, damn. Layton is this important character, and the stories he's unravels are complex, but also understandable once you gain hints of certain things. You could genuinely guess a lot of Layton, mysteries, pretty easily. Maybe not, all the components? Oh, sorry, I feel I'm about to sneeze and I'm, stuck. Okay, I'm good. Anyway. Alright, there's a lot of aspects, in Ace Attorney that I keep saying Ace Attorney. We're not being gay right now. Chill, we're not being gay with the Ace Attorneys. Anyway.
like, the mystery is the biggest aspect that comes in, and the puzzles are always fun, you know, that's like the biggest mechanic is the puzzles. But it's always a large mystery that is unraveled, but also gives a nice twist that, like, adds something to it. Like, the mystery in the first game. You could figure out the mystery of the town, of the Curious Village. You could figure out, and you could probably figure it out, in my opinion. You could. But you probably wouldn't expect the final, like, puzzle piece to happen with, like, what the reward is. Which, you know, cool. That's actually pretty insane. It makes a ton of sense. You know, you could guess what the village is like, but not, like, the final twist. So, there's, like, twists in there that you're like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. Like, you don't expect the twist in the 6th game that occurs, because apparently that's a twist that was fucking nuts, man. I'm still baffled by that. But, like, you can sit down and, like, think, I can get the general idea, but you get twists that make it feel more cohesive and make you fully go, that's why they did what they did. In Catriel, the biggest aspect that annoys me first is that, one, the mysteries are not fully connected to each other. Like, even in the games where, like, every single mystery is there, like, there are some mysteries in, like, some latent games that are like, yeah, that's just there for, like, one chapter. Like, in Azran Legacy, great example. When you go into every single island, there are just mysteries that is just, like, or every single location, you need to find the Azran, jewel or, like, egg or whatever. Like, all of them, basically, all of them have their own mystery that needs to be solved. But when you solve that mystery, you get something that goes into the main story. So you get something bite-sized and small, while also, like, bringing in the whole main story together. There is no main story in Catriel. There just isn't. It's just episodic adventures, which isn't bad. But that's not the appeal of Professor Layton to me. Layton was so, like, the stories of Layton were, like, big connected threads that had small little stories in between. Like, a big story with side quests that are around, and you get to learn about the world and the side quests and the people in them. That's how it would work to me and Professor Layton. Catriel doesn't have a main story, so it's like, what am I solving these for besides just to get to end of this single mystery? Like, this just one mystery. Secondly, a lot of the twists in Catriel so far have been pretty dumb. Like, either really, really predictable or just dumb. Which is a problem, because if you, like, it's a mystery game. Yeah, just pretty obvious or dumb. Like, the ones that are, like, pretty good, like, there are some cases in the game that I'm like, oh, I like this mystery, kinda. But the ones that I do like still have an obvious answer. Like, the Ratman one, we all knew, like, you looked at Ratman and you didn't think it was the guy who thought it was. Like, we all knew who Ratman was. The mystery was figuring out why he left. Like, why did he stop being Ratman? And it was like, the story was doing pretty well with sort of hinting as to why the guy left and stopped it. The one where the bank had a jet turbine. Yeah, that was also another dumb one. But the way that I would describe it is, the first mystery in a lot of Professor Layton games are meant to get your foot in the door and be like, oh, okay, this is cool. The first mystery in Catriel is, in my opinion, so out of left field that it genuinely boggles me as to how it works. like it genuinely boggles the mind as to how it works. Like, the mystery is, okay, the clock, like, one of the clock hands is missing. And it's like, okay, did someone steal it? It's like, no. then, like, what happened to it? No one mentions it being broken because the one guy who's the handyman. Like, how did they steal the hand off of Big Ben? Apparently, they didn't. They just stole it. They didn't steal it, sorry, they broke it. My bad, I can't speak. But, like, it's mentioned in one line of passing, like, one line at the end of the solved mystery, that the handyman broke it and got his brother to make a wafer replica of a hand. Of the hand to, like, replace it. And then for some reason, when it rained last night, that's when the thing was gone. So the wafer melted in the rain. I'm sorry. How, first of all, how did he break it? Like, yeah, how do you even break it? Secondly, how do you, like, I'm gonna be honest, okay, so when you think about it, the hands of Big Ben have to be fucking huge. Because everyone has to see them from a very far distance. So they are massive, massive pieces of equipment. Massive pieces of metal. How do you break those? Like, how fragile are the hands of Big Ben that you could just accidentally drop it and then it breaks? They're massive. They are huge pieces of equipment. And secondly, like, I think it would have been better, like, if the mystery said, oh, there are specks of metal around the ground and such. Like, you see scraps of metal, like pieces of metal, and you're like, well, that's odd. Why are there pieces of metal here? Then you get the idea of, oh, it broke. But there's no hint of that. He just says, oh, I broke it. And it's like, what do you mean you broke it? How? And the whole reason it was an issue was because, oh, there's an official coming in, and we can't have them see that Big Ben is broken. I'm like, you do realize you can tell them, hey, an incident occurred. Big Ben is broke, like, one of Big Ben's hands are being fixed right now, so you're gonna see it missing. They could already see it from a mile away. Like, they're gonna see it. And even at the end of the resolution, it's still missing. The difference is they just give the guy a wafer cake of the hand as a quote-unquote gift. And I'm like, well, how does that solve the issue of anything? It's like, are you kidding me? Like, the mystery is so wacky in the wrong ways. Like, I get it, but also the way they went about it came out of left field. Like, even then, like, in the actual game, like, they have one character point where it's like, someone says, oh yeah, we've been getting silverware and plates are being stolen. So that leads you to think, oh, so Big Ben has been stolen then. Like, the hand has been stolen. And then that plot point goes nowhere. And apparently it's resolved in, like, the epilogue that you can get after finishing the case. Meaning, that one clue that is important to solving the mystery isn't a clue. It's a red herring. Which is bad, because that's not how red herrings work. That you don't make a red herring to do this. Like, that's not how red herrings work. In a way, it's like, no, don't, no. I'm just like, that was like probably the worst mystery to start off with. Because we're trying to get used to Catrielle and her character. We're trying to get used to the dynamics. We already have a talking dog. Also, why didn't they ask the lady what her pet was? Exactly. Like, why did they not ask the lady, oh, what's your, like, what is your, like, they ask, they're like, oh, there's a photo of the pet. Why didn't they ask anyone, is it the cat? And they could say, no, it's the iguana. So you're saying that they saw this picture of a big cat, which makes sense, and they didn't think to confirm this is what we're looking for. So you're telling me that they don't have common sense. You're telling me that. And even the mystery where it's like the movie, the cinema one, where they introduced the 7 dragons, which I'm gonna be honest, the 7 dragons of London are fucking stupid. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That's so fucking stupid because it's so dumb to think about it when Layton has never heard of them. Layton never mentions anything of the dragons. And we know that they know Layton. They know Layton. And, like, Catriel isn't, like... Catriel's, like, an adult, I guess. Like, she is close to being... Like, I would say she's an adult. So you're telling me in 20 years, these 7 people, all of them, just suddenly emerged to be millionaires. Like, all of them. One of them is, like... Some of them I get, but, like... You don't think any of them would talk about them? Like, these characters would be mentioned at all? So them being the 7 dragons, I'm like, you could have just said that they were rich people. Like, there was no reason to give them the title of the 7 dragons. Like, Mayor Loanita, it's like, okay, cool. We don't really care about the mayor of London because, like, that changes. That's an elected official. Makes sense as to why it wouldn't be pertinent. It's like, Layton would, like, fully say, oh, yes, I know the mayor of London. It's gonna change. Like, that makes sense. But, like, Madame Dublé? Madame Dublé says she knows of Layton. She knows Layton and his work. But Layton never mentions her. And she's an older woman, so why wouldn't he mention her at all? If apparently she knows him. It's like, the 7 dragons, in my opinion, are probably one of the dumbest concepts to have in a Professor Layton game, because it's like, we have ancient histories, we've got cultures filled with, like, to the brim with, like, lore and, like, discovery and, like, all the kind of stuff that goes on, and this game is like, oh, rich people are asking for your help, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the rich people. What you talking about? Like it feels so petty, I guess the word. Like, so small. And I guess it's meant to be the point of the game, but, like, why is it so long, though? Like, the chapters themselves can take a good chunk of time because you have to find them. Literally, my introduction to the series was the Azran Legacy. Like, that's lore. That's history. Even the first game has technical lore about the world around it. Like, the Curious Village has lore as to why it operates the way it is, why the people are the way they are, why, etc., etc. There's a reason as to why they are the way they are, and it makes sense. The second game, there's lore about the town that they visit on the train. There's lore about the train system and why it came to be, and where they first came from, and what happened to them, etc., etc. Like, there's lore about that. And then, of course, the third game takes place in future London, and there's history between various characters. Like, the 7 dragons don't feel like lore to me. They feel dumb. You've got, like, actual history, like, and here's the thing! Here's the fucking thing that makes it really weird. If this, like, how recent are the 7, like, was the 7 Dragons a title that was around the time that Layton was around? Like, fully present with Luke? Because, like, it just feels like they're just random, exactly. Like, you didn't have to call them the 7 Dragons. You could have just said they were an elite group of royal, quote-unquote royalty, but, like, the 7 Dragons. And I'm gonna be honest, the 7 Dragons in London, in England, It just sounds dumb. It just, like, you could have just said that they're an elite group of, like, you could just say they're, like, a group of friends who are rich and know each other, or, like, a group of associated rich people, and it's fine. Giving the title of the Seven Dragons, especially when Catriel doesn't know who they are, but they know her father. You're telling me that Catriel doesn't know who these Seven Dragons are. Ernest does, but they knew Layton. The amount of hoops to jump through that is just dumb. It's like dumb. Like, it's absolutely dumb to think about that. Bad. So they knew Layton, they knew his work, but Catriel has no idea who these dragons are. And thirdly, let me fucking get into this. Let me get into this pit. Ernest needs to fucking grow a pair of balls because, my god, I hate the trope he embodies. Ernest is meant to be the Luke to Catriel, which is fine. In a way, you need that buddy character to, like, round out. Like, Layton is a gentleman, so Luke is like, I want to be a gentleman and I want to be, you know, your apprentice. I look up to you. You're my role model. And that's a cute dynamic. Like, Layton says, all right, I'll take you on adventures and I will teach you what I know. And Luke is like, yes. Luke may get in the way sometimes, but Luke also has value as a second pair of eyes compared to Layton. And also assists multiple times in the work, like multiple times is helping solve the mystery, and Layton trusts Luke. Like, there are points where he trusts Luke to do something and Luke does it, and it shows like they are strong and they have a bond that makes them feel important and makes them feel like, yeah, this is a dynamic I would like. Ernest is just in love with Catriel, and it's so boring and so stupid. Like, his romantic affections for Catriel is so dumb. Because for one thing, he won't confess. At all. He won't confess. He won't confess. So it's like, it's 12 chapters. It's 12 chapters of Ernest just stuttering over himself and, you know, doing things for Catriel because he loves her and lets himself be taken advantage of her. Like, taken advantage by her. Because, oh, I love her. And it's like, do you really? Because you have no self-respect. Like, his character has no self-respect at all. The only thing he does is just go like, wow, Miss Layton, you're so smart. You're so cool. Miss Layton, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. Miss Layton, let me inform you of the plot devices because apparently you don't know what the plot characters are and any of the plot is. I have to inform you because I'm hip. It's like, you made him a mouthpiece for a war, but also made him unbearably stupid. Like, chapter 3 was when he asked Catriel, hey, let's go to the movies. And it was like, oh, okay, he's finally advancing on his romance. He's finally moving ahead on that. He's finally doing something. Finally doing it. Thank God. Like, thank God he's moving ahead in his, like, thing. And then never again. Doesn't talk about the film pretty much unless it's pertaining to the mystery of it. Does not ask her out on another date. Like, not even during the fucking God Wednesday. They're like, oh, let's go out to the park, Miss Layton, and enjoy some free time. And they're like, nope, it's just, I'll work for Miss Layton, don't worry about it. I'll just, like, take care of her and, like, do all her chores for free because I don't have a salary, which begs the question, what the fuck does Ernest do for a goddamn living? Is he just living on the goddamn streets? Ernest, sweetie pie, where the fuck do you work? Because you're apparently with Catriel 24/7. You don't have a job, my guy. Like, it just is... like, it's just... dumb. It's just... dumb to think about and put together, like as to how it works. So, like, but the thing is, there's a couple things that makes it kind of cute, and it's mostly the romantic stuff or like the family related stuff. Like, I mean, almost every single one that relates to like family in a way, but like the third mystery was pretty cute, had a cute ending where it's like the director was like, oh, this is sort of based on my life. So I'm gonna use old footage of me and my wife getting together as the final shot. And I'm like, you cut that really bad, but also that is really cute. Like, it's very cute. That's a cute ending. The seventh one is like Ratman was adorable because it's like, oh, he's a father now, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. He's a father. He has to take care of his children. He has a baby, and he also is a doting baby dad. He likes to take care of the baby, likes to make it happy, likes to make it giggle. And it's like, okay, so he's a good dude. He just had to stop doing what he had to do because he wanted to just be a dad. And it's like, fair, that's adorable. And we see him being a dad afterwards, and it's cute. It's nice. It's a nice little treat. It's a nice little thing to see, you know, him being a dad and being cute. The one that we finished was like really nice because it was, you know, it was the detective being like, I want to show my wife how much I love her, and she's like, oh, I just want to spend time with my husband. And he shows off, and at the end of it, it's like, hey, you do so much good work for the community. They wanted to help you. They wanted to, you know, help you on this event, like on this task, and they were willing to do this for you, which is like, that's good. That's lovely. That's lovely. That means that, you know, he's actually really good at his job, that people appreciate him. It shows multiple layers of stuff, and it's like, nice. But also, you could have just told him, hey, Hastings, just hang out with your wife. Like, it's not rocket science. Just hang out with your wife. You want to be a good husband, and you are trying to be a good husband, but also listen to your goddamn wife. Just listen to your wife, my guy. Like, it's just, And then there's some, like you mentioned with the bank one. The bank one is so stupid because, one, it's a faulty thing, but also, two, technically they were gonna commit insurance fraud. Like, the lady was willing to commit insurance fraud so that way she didn't get in trouble, and it's like, if you fucked that up and you didn't tell, if we didn't figure it out, you probably would have gotten fired, and probably worse, my girl, like, my dude, you probably would have gotten much worse shit because you were trying to commit insurance fraud. It's like, bro. But also, you didn't think that a big-ass fan in a vault would be a problem with paper money. Like, you didn't think to find a vault to put that in? You just let it sit there? It's just like, I guess it's just like, my biggest problem is that it feels like it is trying to be the next Professor Layton, like, carry on that spirit. Perfectly logical. Oh, absolutely, perfectly logical. But, like, it's trying to carry on that Layton idea, but they made Catriel so far from Layton. Like, she talks about being a gentlewoman, but we know how Layton is as a gentleman. Like, we know how he works. He's like, he says various stuff that's like sort of gentlemanly, but also not. But he says stuff that's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, never let it, like, he doesn't mean, he shouldn't have left, you know, Flora the way he did. That's, like, kind of fucked up. But he also didn't want her to go in danger. He's very polite to so many people and cares about their well-being and so on and so forth. So you're like, okay, cool. He's a chill dude. He's really responsible when it comes to, like, protecting people, and he may go on dangerous adventures, but he also is, you know, willing to solve these things so that way he can understand. He also has a fascination of learning, so he's willing to learn. He takes care of Luke really well, to the point where Luke's father trusts him very much and allows Luke to go on these adventures because he knows Layton will be good and make sure Luke is safe. Like, Luke technically did die, but it was because everyone died, and that was just like everyone choosing to sacrifice themselves so that way they could go on. But any other time, he says, Luke, get out of here, I don't want you to get hurt. But Catriel isn't that. You would think that Layton would teach her various aspects that would pass along on her. Not exactly because she's her own character, but like still be polite, still be pleasant. No, she's just more boorish. Like, I don't know what the term would be, but she's like much more, I guess, not arrogant, but like she is, but no, Layton isn't around. True. Which also paints Layton even a worse light. Because he was bad with both Flora. Like, he didn't tell Flora the first time, and nor the second time. Sorry, I'm grabbing some water right now. But, like, he wasn't good at treating Flora very well when it came to the second and third game. I mean, he did treat her well, but, like, he wouldn't take her on adventures, which, in some ways, is not fun, because Luke gets to go, but she doesn't. Which is kind of unfair, but also, considering what happened in those specific games, it makes sense as to why he didn't want to. If Flora did not join Luke and Layton in the second game, it would have been difficult for Don Paolo to find someone to disguise himself as. Like, Flora joined the adventure for a little bit and then got knocked out and was replaced by Don Paolo. So you're like, so she shouldn't have come on that one. But it's also Luke and Layton's fault for not saying anything to her and just kind of like ghosting. But then the second game they do it again, but the second game she's also in danger and she gets kidnapped and used as a bartering weapon by the main villain. You're like, so both times she got involved, something went wrong and she became a damsel in distress. Okay, both times. In my head, that means so we don't bring her because she's a damsel in distress and she keeps getting kidnapped. Okay, so, and we don't have any adventures after the third game until the New World of Steam comes in, which I need to find the date for the streaming thing, because apparently we're getting news on level 5 games very soon, which is really, really good. But, like, the third game is the final game in the timeline. Catriel, and Layton has to raise Flora, who's probably well into her teens right now, like, in that time. So he raises Flora, takes care of her, and then sends her on her way, lets her go live her life, and then gets Catriel. Which, who's the fuck, like, gets Catriel and then just ghosts her for, like, a portion of her life, which is, like... So Catriel, like, fully cements in the story that Layton's a bad dad. I don't think a lot of people want to think that. you know, the gentleman who's constantly saving people, who's good with Luke and takes care of Luke pretty well. As best as he can. No, we're just gonna cement even further that Layton is just a bad dad and Luke is apparently the exception to the rule. Like, never mind the fact in other games, and even other stories, like, in the movie, Layton is kind and caring towards the young girl who believes she's Melina. Like, she's very kind, he's very making sure that, you know, he takes care of the girls around them and, like, you know, make sure they're safe and shit. Like, he takes care of them and makes sure they're safe. He took care of Katya and such. In the 6th game, he takes care of Aurora pretty well and makes sure that she's blended in and safe along with Emmy and them. Like, so apparently just Luke, but no, we gotta cement the fact that he's bad with daughters, specifically. Like, Flora, in a way, makes sense because he was explicitly, when you think about it, Layton was explicitly trusted by the Baron to take care of his daughter. Which, probably in Layton's mind was, don't take her out on these adventures, because then she could get in trouble. Which, both times she got involved, she did. Both times, Flora got involved. No shame against her. She got in trouble. She was knocked out by Don Paolo, and then kidnapped by the villain of the 3rd game. So, both times she got involved, she could have gotten hurt. So, it's bad that Layton didn't tell her what was going on. But when you have that idea of like, oh, you could get hurt, I'm not gonna let you get involved, that's explicitly what he was told to do. So he was technically doing what he was supposed to do, he just could have done it better. And then this game just says, oh yeah, he's just dips and leaves Catriel. And it's like, what? Why is Luke like the exception to the rule where he treats Luke well but like doesn't treat any daughter well? Like, what do you mean? It's kind of dumb to me. It's like annoying that that's the apparently the character device that Layton has, despite the fact that he's been very kind and very well considering of other children and women in the entirety of the series. It's like, nah, just his own kids. When he treats Luke like a second son, it's like treats Luke like a son, it's like, explain that to me. Explain it. I'm just confused. It's just, every time, it's just like confuses the fuck out of me, and I don't get why they do what they do. I just don't. So Catriel just cements a character point of Layton that I don't like. Like, it cements it. With Flora, it's like, okay, you could understand it, sort of. You can not like it. I don't like that he doesn't tell Flora and them what to do, but Luke doesn't either, so Luke is just as bad in a way. It's like, no. But then they just cement, like, oh yeah, he's just bad with his children, apparently. That's just it. Just bad with his children. And I'm like, so then what's the point of that then? Why did you make a spin-off character? Which he's also bad with technically with his other child, because he has another child that's a son, and he apparently dipped on him too. Why is it his own children? What the fuck, huh? I've got to play that mobile game and like figure out what's going on there, but apparently there's trauma on that end. But also, how come he doesn't, does that son know that he has a sister? Does that son know that Layton, what are you doing? What's wrong with you, buddy? What's wrong? Chill. Come on, my guy. We want to love you. We want to make sure you're a good dad, but what the fuck? It just is. It just, Catriel cements a lot of things that I don't like about it. Like, there's stuff in Professor Layton games I don't like. I don't like some of the tediousness of mysteries and how, like, after some time, some mysteries just, like, don't come up again, which makes sense. Sometimes you get story elements that get solved immediately, and that's a good thing, but also, you're so used to the Professor Layton stories, like, having everything come all around and come back in a full circle. So sometimes it solves things really quickly, and then just has nothing else after that. Like, a certain character in the 6th game was, like, a certain character was in the 5th game, and then was, like, hinted to be a villain, and then the 6th game, they're like, ah, you're the villain, and then he's just gone for the rest of the story, and you're like, well, we set up that character for no damn reason. Like, what was the point of setting him up? But, you know, it's fine. I don't know, just Professor Layton, like, just Catriel does a lot of things that makes me sort of annoyed as to what's going on. It's just weird, and it's like, I just, like, sat there and just thought, sorry, I got a message, and I was, like, confused by it for a sec, sorry. I don't know, it's like, in my opinion, Catriel is an okay game. Like, even then, I'm gonna say this right now, the puzzles are, like, the easiest they've ever been in Professor Layton. Like, genuinely, the puzzles are, like, so easy. Which is concerning because, like, the puzzles were difficult sometimes, Professor Layton, but that, like, they scaled. And they're also, like, depending on the person, how their logic thinks. Of course, different puzzles are going to be different. And some different puzzles will be harder or easier for other people. But playing Catriel, they are so easy because they're either copies, like, direct copies of older puzzles, or the logic is so simple that you can just trial and error it. Like, genuinely, a ton of the puzzles that I've done in the game were just trial and error. Just like, my brain going through, it's this, no, it's this, no, it's this, no. It's just like, trial and error, you're good, you're done. It's like, that's disappointing, but also what makes it easier, but also accessible, is the undo button, where you can undo one move. And you can do it for all the moves. So you can just undo everything and redo it. But you can, like, undo to a certain point and then branch off from there. Which means you can just infinitely try over and over again until you get the puzzle right. And that is an accessible feature. But also, you don't have to fully think about it. You could just, if you mess up, redo, like, undo, redo the thing. Undo, and it's like, well then, I'm not challenged. The puzzles are not challenging. There are Professor Layton puzzles where I'm like, this is hard for me to put together. Some of them are really hard for me to think of and, like, put out. But others, I'm just like, yeah, no, this is nothing. Like, this is nothing. I can do these so easily. Like, literally, we've had one puzzle in the whole game stump me. And it was because I accidentally swapped the puzzle pieces together. So I mixed them up by accident, but I swapped them immediately and we were fine. So in, like, it was only one. In, like, 18 hours of gameplay. 18 hours! And we've had one puzzle slip up. One! Compared to, like, other Professor Layton games where, like, I've slipped up a ton of times. And, like, I messed up and didn't know what I was doing. And it's, like, if I can solve a majority of your puzzles and only slip up, like, once, then I may be a puzzle veteran, but, like, that's pretty easy. And it's, like, it's accessible, but also, like, damn, it's so simple. But it just, like, also irritates me because it's so tiring. It's just so annoying. Also, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again, and I'm, like, stuck. Okay, we're fine. I think I'm better. It's just, Catriel is an okay game. I definitely think it is the worst Professor Layton game so far that I've played. Which is disappointing because Catriel was kind of sort of meant to be like better. But also, I guess another thing that would have been pretty much more fun. The title of Catriel is Layton Mystery Journey, which I don't get why they said that, but it's like Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, which indicated to me that the whole gimmick would focus on how the millionaires have like certain secrets that need to be uncovered for like a bigger mystery solved. We've had no conspiracy at all in any of these like things. Nothing has like led to me thinking of conspiracies with these characters at all. I'm not thinking that they're conspiring to do anything because it's just like millionaires being millionaires. Like, one of them wants friends. One of them is a bank teller and like owns a couple of banks and also owns businesses. Cool. One of them owns a boat. Like, what's the conspiracy with that? What is the conspiracy with those specific ones? What is the conspiracy? I genuinely don't know. What's the point? Like, I tell you the name, Professor Layton and the Curious Village, and majority of people are gonna be like, oh, the one where you solve what is the secret behind the village? Immediately, everyone knows what the Curious Village is like. It's like, you read that title and you're like, that makes sense. This village is pretty strange. We can, like, look into it and understand it. Diabolical box / Pandora's box. Makes sense. Like, this box apparently can kill people. We gotta understand why it can kill people. What's going on there? Meaning, you've got something that's, something that's, sitting there. Maybe they'll get a random plot where one millionaire has a death ray. But that's the thing. That's just one mystery. Compared to, say, the Diabolical Box, the whole game was focusing on a sort of, why does this box kill people, and where does it come from? The story is literally about the box. And the story that is connected to said box. Meaning, okay, we've got the mystery. Professor Layton, the Unwound Future is the most probably obtuse one so far, but the literal plot point is they go to the future. So it's like, okay, that's the plot point. We got something there. We got something put together. Cool. Makes sense. Understandable. Professor Layton and the Last Spectre. It's like, okay, that's an interesting title. Why is it called The Last Spectre? That's a little odd. And then you solve the mystery, or like, oh, that's why it's called The Last Spectre. Plot point. Makes sense. Yippee! The 5th game, The Miracle Mask. Woo! The plot is about the mask. The mask, which is called, just the mask that's seemingly this dangerous object, but it's also called the Miracle Mask. And, it supposedly grants miracles. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, mask! Yippee! Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. Right there is your story. Right there is your plot. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. What's the conspiracy so far? What is the conspiracy of it so far? The conspiracy of, oh, hey, I need you to find my pets? The conspiracy, of, oh, I need friends? And I have ghosts? Or the conspiracy of, hey, I need to help my wife celebrate my wife's birthday on God Wednesday. What's the conspiracy? There is none. So far, in 9 chapters of the game, we've had no conspiracy whatsoever. So it's like, the Millionaire's Conspiracy is such a red herring. So far, it is. And it's like, well, why would you name it such a title if so far we've had no conspiracy whatsoever? We've had, no conspiracy. And that's disappointing, because that's a fucking cool name. The Millionaires Conspiracy? Alright, so people are scheming, people are cooking, people are trying to do something. Is it shady? We don't know. Is it good? We don't know. It's a conspiracy. We could figure out what the conspiracy is. But nothing so far has indicated that there is a conspiracy. It's just rich people having problems. Which is dumb, because that's not a conspiracy. That's just a problem of the week. Like, if I had, like, the first one wasn't even a conspiracy, it was just dumb. And they're called, like, she says, this mystery is history. So it's like, you're not saying conspiracy. We had a massive plot of an underground group of millionaires controlling the world. Exactly. You could have made an underground group of people who are millionaires who are also trying to, like, take control of everything and all the kind of such. Like, you've got people that are, like, powerful, like, people that you're like, you know, we gotta be careful of these guys. They have tons of money and we need to be safe around them. Coolio. Makes sense. Understandable. We got it. But no, we just have... We just have what we have. And some of it is fine. But majority of it feels underwhelming. And that's a problem. This is Professor Layton. Like, a game that is primarily a visual novel and puzzles should have something going on. Something! Like, that's literally the point of the game, is, like, to have the mystery element where you're, like, trying to solve everything and figure out how does everything work? How does this get together? How do you get the puzzles? And how do you get to the final bit of the mystery? And if you're underwhelming in the mystery part, what's the point of playing a Professor Layton game? Like, genuinely, what's the point of playing it if I'm underwhelmed by the story? When it's a point-and-click visual novel game, as described by so many things, including Twitch, where Twitch described Professor Layton as point-and-click visual novel with puzzles. So you better get your puzzles and, like you gotta have a story, my guy. So it's just, like, disappointing that Catriel might as well play Ace Attorney. Even Ace Attorney has fucking better mysteries, my guy. Like, at least Ace Attorney is like, oh yeah, we've got story, we've got shit going on, we've got plots, and it's like, yippee, we have plot. Yay. Like, we have plot, we've got story, we've got something going on with Ace Attorney. At least Ace Attorney has, like, cohesive storylines for, like, the majority of the game. Like, for the majority of the game, I play Ace Attorney, and it's like, yep, I understand what's going on. Some of it is stupid, but that doesn't mean we can't like it. But it's just disappointing to me that, like, we genuinely do have something really good. Like, we haven't had a Professor Layton game in a very long time. Catriel and the mobile game are, like, the most recent Professor Layton games. Which isn't bad, but they're the most recent. Justice for All was weird, but still nice. Justice for All has one of the best cases in the entirety of the series, and in my opinion, it deserves to be credited such. Like, I understand why people don't like Justice for All. I do, because it was technically my first major Ace Attorney game. Like, that was the first game I fully finished. I knew of the original game, absolutely. I knew of the original and how it worked. But, like, I played Justice for All, and that was, like, my Ace Attorney. That was my Ace Attorney. And that's the one where I'm like, yes, I love the story. Like, it's weird. Oh, absolutely. It's so goddamn weird. And in my opinion, has some of the worst cases in Ace Attorney history. But I finished that game, and it got me to be an Ace Attorney fan. So I appreciate what that game did for me. I appreciate how much it means to me. And the final case is one of the best Ace Attorney cases of all time. In my opinion, there are very few Ace Attorney cases that top Goodbye, like, what is it? Turnabout for Tomorrow? Like, the final case for, the game. I can't remember because it's been a minute, but the final case of the Justice for All, the second game, literally one of the best cases of all time. It may have had some troubles here and there, but it's one of the best. One of the most impactful stories ever. So it's like even sometime. Farewell, My Turnabout. Yes, thank you. Turnabout for Tomorrow was a different character, was a different one. I remember that. That's why I was confused for a sec. But yeah, you're correct. Thank you. Farewell, My Turnabout. Absolutely amazing story, filled with so much tension, filled with so much anxiety. Like, every second I was on, like, pins and needles of that. And while it may have not been the best game, that case really proved how strong Ace Attorney can be as a series. And that makes me proud. And that was my first Ace Attorney, was that game. That one was my first Ace Attorney. So I jumped into some bad cases and some amazing cases. But Catriel, do struggle, in my opinion, to, like, the Pursuit theme. That one is so good. Oh, absolutely it is. Like, there's so many iconic tracks from Justice for All that people don't think about. Like, I would play a track sometimes, and my friends are like, oh, that's from the first game. And I'm like, no, that's the second game. And they're like, what? And I'm like, that's the second game. And they're like, damn, that has got good music. And it's like, yes, it do. It got some real good music. Thank God someone agrees with me. Like, bruh. So it's just disappointing to see that, like, in a way, like, I guess it's also, like, when you compare Ace Attorney to, like, Professor Layton has technically better quality. So when it falls, it's, like, bad. Like, it's not like, oh, with Ace Attorney where you can say, oh, the game is bad, but it has one really good case, like with Justice for All. No, you have to sit there and say, yeah, the game itself isn't great. Like, you can't isolate it because Ace Attorney... God, my brain keeps going that way. But, Professor Layton is a bigger mystery. So when it does this sort of, like, Ace Attorney style cases, it feels odd, and when those cases aren't good, it's like, well, why would I play this then? Also, hello, Zoella, welcome in, thanks so much for stopping by, I hope you're doing well. It just is disappointing to me, and I'm like, we could be doing so much better, but we don't, and that disappoints me immensely, you know? Just immensely, we could be doing so much better. Because we have so much good expectations of previous Professor Layton games. Anyway, that's my 2 ranting about Catriel so far. We've got 3 more chapters, I guess, man. One of them is focusing on Ernest so far, so we'll see what happens. Dear God, I hope he doesn't keep going with this thing. God, if he goes along with, like, his whole shtick, I'm just gonna be like... It probably will confirm that it is my least favorite Layton game. Right now, it's like... it doesn't count. Maybe he'll finally confess? I don't think so. I don't think he will, based on what the summary was in the the opening thing. I don't think he will. If he does, I'll be like, God bless us. We received good shit today. Yippee! But I don't think so. Nah. I wish, but I don't think so. I wish, but who knows? Who knows at this point? We'll see. I'm just like wanting good. But at this point, my expectations are kind of low with the next case. My expectations are pretty low, so... We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll just see. I don't know. It's just... I don't think we're gonna go up from here. Like, I don't think we're gonna be going up. I think we're just gonna be cruising and maybe go downhill a couple times because we kind of haven't gotten back up with my expectations, man. And I'm sorry, Catriel. I'm sure you're lovely, but also you're kind of one of the most boring protagonists, but also one of the most annoying protagonists I've had in games because she's not really fun to play as. Like, the only reason I would play as Catriel is just because she has cute outfits. It has that dress to impress cuteness about her that I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can play as her and like feel cute. And that's it. Nothing else. I like her outfits. Her personality is debatable and like just feels dumb. Just feels dumb, you know? Like, she's... I'm not gonna judge her, but it's like, also, she is not ladylike, and it's like, kind of dumb. It's like, well, why are you playing as a... Why do you call yourself a gentlewoman when you're not a gentlewoman, my girl? You're not gentle right now. You're not being a lady. And she's like, I am Professor I'm Layton's daughter, and it's like, apparently, I guess, sure. But also, can we talk about the fact that like, we still haven't gotten any reason as to why the dog can speak in the game? Like, why can the dog speak in the game? Genuine question. Because that hasn't been solved yet. That hasn't even been solved. That hasn't even been mentioned. Like, that mystery that the dog has said, I need your help with, hasn't been touched since the first case of the game. Maybe that's the Millionaire's Conspiracy? Maybe. But the fact that that case, that specific thing, hasn't been touched upon at all. Like, at all. It's just been like, oh, they have a talking dog now. Which, okay. I guess solves the Luke issue of like, oh, Luke could talk to animals and thus get information. Like, I guess that solves that issue where it's like, oh, instead the dog can talk, which is a choice. It'd be terrible if they never got the answer. If they don't, I'm probably gonna look at that and look at them and be like, come on. It's you're given a mystery. You're given a mystery, and you're like, the dog says, I have no memory of who I am, and I don't know why I can talk. I'm like, mystery. And they're like, what about a wafer clock hand? And you're like, but the dog. And they're like, but wafer clock hand. But the dog. But what about more shenanigans? And it's like, but the dog that is actively talking to the main characters, and only the main characters can understand because it's Detective Pikachu logic. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. When did this game release? Hold up. 2017. Wait, no, that's the shorter version. 2018? What the fuck? Detective Pikachu, did you steal the plotline from Catriel? God, no wonder they weren't great. No wonder they weren't that great. Anyway. Damn, literally used the same plot. Well, I didn't realize that Detective Pikachu was so shameless in stealing its, like, storylines from other properties. Damn, on the 3DS too, wow. Wow, they were on the 3DS together, and apparently one of them got a movie, the other didn't. Damn. The lore. But it's also just like, yeah, I'm just like not into it. I just don't think the game, like, I'm gonna be honest, I would only buy Catriel. If I had seen Catriel and I reviewed it, I would say don't buy it unless it's on sale and you want more puzzles. Because it's not for the story. The story isn't there. There is no real story right now. Which is not good, because if there's no story now, there's gonna be either a hell of a lot of story at the end of the game, or no story at all. Which is, both are disappointing to hear. But we will see. I just don't think it is... I think it's, in my opinion, the worst Professor Layton game. Like, the worst one to carry the title of Layton, in my opinion. It's just not good. Like, it's decent. Like, it's okay. You could play it and, like, enjoy some aspects of it. I've been playing it and enjoying some aspects of it. But, like, I wouldn't say, oh, if you want to get into Professor Layton, play this game. Nah, it wouldn't be my first thing I would think of. I would probably forget this game after a few months if I wasn't playing it so often. Or at least so frequently, like every week. I would just be like, what game? Oh, there's a sequel? Nope. I wouldn't think about it very hard. Which is just me. But anyway, I just think that it turns out there's been major revelations in Pikmin lore? Ooh, like what? So the water wraith's rollers are made of meteorite materials. Ooh. So if it's made of meteorite, does that mean the water wraith could be using equipment? Like, could be using things like equipment from outer space that has fallen and, like, burnt and hardened to, like, some sort of scrap? Like, space scrap? That'd be kind of cool. Water wraith coming in being like, so I have more stuff, baby. Meteorite, let's go. That's kind of cool, actually. Wait. Also, while Olimar was, in the Plasm Wraith during the final battle, Olimar was dreaming about humans with Pikmin. So does that mean that in the Pikmin timeline, Pikmin existed when humans did? If so, how did they function? Because Pikmin are much smaller compared to humans, as shown throughout the games. Does that mean Pikmin bloom, I guess? I guess? But also it's... I would have to think about that. Intriguing. I guess. Intriguing. I don't know. What else could I rant about? That would be very fun. What could I rant about? I mean, I guess you could talk about the gays with the Ace Attorney because, as of right now, if you guys don't know, I do want to play the Ace Attorney games on stream. I'm still deciding whether I could, I'm directly thinking of, like, whether to do it with people in call, like in Discord, or just to read it like how I did with the Professor Layton games. I'm probably leaning to the Professor Layton one. If I want to get people on board, I can later, but like right now, I might do Ace Attorney for a while because I want to play those games. The Water Wraith is directly similar to the Umibozu. I figured, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I knew, like, it's very distinctly made in the way to be similar to the Umibozu. So it, like, makes a lot of sense as to why they would... Like, it would make sense to be directly similar or, like, connected to that sort of monster. But I probably will be playing Ace Attorney soon, just so I could, get through the Ace Attorney games. And then I can play the Ace Attorney Investigations games again, which is fantastic! Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next, I'm hoping we get the next Ace Attorney game soon, man. I want another Ace Attorney so bad. Please. We've gotten all of the Ace Attorney games except for the one with Professor Layton added in the game. I want more. Edgeworth, Athena cakes. We gotta get the Moon Cake trilogy, man. We've had the Apollo Justice. We had the Apollo Scales trilogy. We had the Phoenix Wright, Phoenix Point trilogy. Now we need the Moon Cakes trilogy. Come on. We need the Bird Right. We got the Bird Right. We got the forehead point, and then we need Moon Cakes. Come on. We need a Moon Cake to have our own trilogy, which. I'm gonna be honest, okay, let me actually talk about this. So, it's kind of funny how they market it as like the Phoenix Wright trilogy, which makes sense. And then the Apollo Justice trilogy, which, I'm gonna be honest, as a fan of Ace Attorney since they were a wee little lad, Apollo's not the main character in the 5th game. That's Athena. Athena and Phoenix are the main characters of the 5th game. Apollo, yes. In the 6th game, the Spirit of Justice, absolutely. Main character. Main character, his storyline is being devolved in there. He is the main character. But the 5th game, Apollo isn't the main character. So it's kind of dumb that the new character, Athena, isn't explicitly, like, she's explicitly the main character because in his own first game, technically, no, I wouldn't say that. Apollo is the main character of his own game. He just isn't the one moving the plot forward. That's Phoenix. Like Phoenix is the one who's kind of pushing the story, but you still are the main character as Apollo in the game. Until the 4th case where you're like, But nah, I would think that he is the main character in his own game, just not as pushing of the story compared to Phoenix. So Phoenix, like, is taking a bit of the brunt for the plot. But the 5th game, The 5th game, Dual Destinies. Nah, he is not the protagonist. No, absolutely not. It is literally called Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. It should have been called Athena Sykes, but I get why they didn't do that, because Apollo Justice, the game itself, didn't do very well. So they went back to Phoenix, but it makes sense how they wrote it in a way where in Apollo, they're like, oh, Phoenix is finding a spirit back into defending, and it's like, okay, cool, we're hinting that Phoenix is coming back. It isn't like a retcon. Like, they're hinting that Phoenix is coming back as an attorney. It makes sense. Coolio. Dude lost his own name in the title. He did. He did. But so did Athena, so it's like... And then Spirit of Justice, I don't get why that's called Phoenix Wright. Like, I get it, Phoenix Wright is a part of the story, but it is arguably more about Apollo compared to his story than Phoenix. Phoenix just happens to be in Korean, which is technically where a lot of the plot is happening, but a lot of the plot is also happening on Apollo's side. But also Apollo is like, isn't the leader, like the one who leads the most cases in that game. It's actually Phoenix by 3. Like Apollo has 2 cases in the game that focuses on his backstory and storyline, but Phoenix has 3 and Athena has 1. Because there are actually, hold up, there's the first case, which is the first one that Phoenix gets into. There's Apollo's with Trucy. There's oh no, it is 5 cases, because then Phoenix and Apollo both work together on the final case. So they both have 1.5. So, like, 1.5. Like, come on. They both have 1.5. And then Phoenix technically gets another one with the... I think it has a DLC case. Yeah, it does have a DLC case, and Phoenix gets that one. So technically, Phoenix has 2.5, Apollo has 1.5, and Athena has 1. And Athena gets the worst case out of that game, which is kind of dumb. Like, why, brother? Why? Anyway. Like, it's kind of dumb they did market it as the Apollo Justice Trilogy, which, it would make sense, yes. They would call it the Apollo Justice Trilogy, because at least 2 of the games do focus on Apollo as a character. But, like, they're not. Third case syndrome strikes. I'll say this. Third case syndrome affects the first 4 games and the first investigations games. I will say that this third case in Dual Destinies, not that bad. I'm actually, like, pretty impressed with how decent it is. Like, it's pretty decent. It's not great, but it's decent. And then the third case in Spirit of Justice, the 6th game, absolute banger. That's actually that's actually a really good case. Like, the third case in the 6th game is actually pretty good. Some stupid stuff happens, but it's actually pretty good. That case was, like, nice. That case was really good. Which is surprising. But the 4th case of like, Spirit of Justice, ooh, that hit hard. That was, the worst case in that game. The one in Dual Destinies? Oh, yeah, that was a good one. But, like, the 4th case for Spirit of Justice, ooh, that was, like, that case was not good. It just wasn't good. It was dumb. It was so stupid. It was kind of bad. But then the 5th case did come back and said, alright, we got this. Get your balls together, we're ready. We're in for some bullshit, and you're ready for it. And you're like, it's gonna happen. Something gonna happen. It's epic. It's big. It's bombastic. It is bombastic. It's nuts. Anyway. But also, it sort of gives the idea that Apollo is finally branching off on his own, which is, like, good, because that's what Apollo needed to do, was branch off to be his own character, away from Phoenix. So, maybe in the future we'll get another Apollo Justice, but with him in, like, at the end, where it's like he's by himself, and we just focus on him again. No Phoenix, no anything else, just him and the consequences of what happens there. It's like, okay, cool. Maybe. But we really need a fucking Athena Sex game. The one time she got her own game, like, technically it was Dual Destinies, and she wasn't even, like, leading most of the cases. She was an assistant for, like, most of the games. She only had one case to herself in that game. And then she took a case from Apollo in Spirit of Justice, which, in my opinion, should have just been Apollo's case, but that would have given him a bad case anyway. I am hoping we do get another Ace Attorney game soon, because I really want that series to continue. I really want to see what they can do to, like, keep going, because they have things to work with. Today I was thinking how mad I would be if it was gonna be a crime, if I was gonna be free of a crime. I was thinking how mad would I be if I was going to be free from a crime 15 years ago, but then found guilty 5 minutes before. The amount of rage I would feel in that moment, like if you were a certain character that got away with a crime and you think you're scot-free, you're good, you're fine, like no one's noticed, and you're counting down the years of you getting away with that crime. And then finally you get the chance to, like, escape from it. No longer in your past. It's no longer a threat. And this fucking random upstart attorney digs through your past and says, "You're guilty." And you're like... Like, is it satisfying as fuck to bring that person down? Yes, it is satisfying as fuck to, like, knock them down a peg. It is satisfying. But it's also, like, the amount of, like, being, like, you're sitting there on a high, like, you're fine, and then everything collapses under you, and you're like... I would be so angry, but also, like, damn. You were that close to being free, and it took an upstart baby attorney to kick your ass down? Wow. Wow. Dude was one day away. He was. But it was also very fun to kick him down and kick him with his teeth in and make him bust his head over how angry he got for how he's like, I tried to get away with it, and then, like, nope. Nope. You don't get away with it, motherfucker. Fuck you. Stupid ass. You thought you could get away with it because you're petty and you had one thing, slightly bad thing happen to you that you resulted in murder? Fuck off, bitch. You stupid ass. Stupid ass. Stupid ass. You dumbass. You dumbass. Dumbass, but it's also very satisfying, so, you know, we love that. We love how satisfying that person is. It's just satisfying to break them down. It's great. It's just great. I will say, though, I guess it's just also that Ace Attorney has a lot more highs, in a way. Like, Ace Attorney is very much, when you get to the good cases, holy shit, they break every expectation. Like, the final case of the first game blew away my expectations. The second case, I replayed it. The second game, like the second game with the final case, Farewell My Turnabout. That game, that case blew me away all over again because I recently played it a while ago, or I watched someone play Ace Attorney for the first time, and seeing them react to all of the twists that happen in the Ace Attorney games is, like, so fun because I'm seeing everything all over again from a different perspective. Like, I've already played these games, so I know what happens, but seeing them figure out what happens, seeing them realize, oh my god, that's how they did it. That's how they did this. So then if I do this, I do that. And all the things that come together and like meld in, and seeing them react to the twists that occur, the plot points that come back in and like, you know, smack them in the face and say, hey, here's new information. You gotta deal with it. It is fucking incredible, and it shows me how well written these games are to this day. Which is fucking nuts, because the Ace Attorney games are now really old, when you think about it. The first Ace Attorney game came out in 2001, I believe. They came out on the Game Boy. That's 23 years ago. The first Ace Attorney game is close to the same age Phoenix is in time. Phoenix was like 24 when the games first started? 25? Phoenix, like, the games are as old as Phoenix was in the first game. Which is nuts to think about. That's nuts to think about. That they're that old. Like, the original game is that old. The second game is only 22. The third game is about 20, I think. I think it came out in 2004. But the original trilogy is over 20 years old now. And the fact that they are still so beloved that people who have not played Ace Attorney can go into those games and see how well written they are is like a testament to that. It's like, god damn. And I just want another Ace Attorney so bad. I just want another Ace Attorney game so bad. I don't know if we're going to get one. I think now, because we've gotten all of the games basically remade and updated and shit, all of which have like gotten better, like, you know, upgrades to their art style, like rewritings to like adjust them to like modern day dialogue a little bit. Some of them like different writing, extra goodies and such added to them. I'm hoping that means that they're planning on making another one, because we now have all of the games, like every single one. The last new game they made was The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which were fan-fucking-tastic from what I've heard. I've not played them, but people have been praising them to hell and high water for how well they are. Like, how well written, how fun they are, how much fun they are. Which gets me excited, because those games came out, like, in 2015? The first one came out, like, in 2015 in Japan, and then released here after some years later because of copyright shit. And then the second game came out, like, a couple years after the first one. So it's like, those are like 2017-ish, and I think Spirit of Justice came out like in 2016, so that's almost 10 years old. Holy fuck. God, Spirit of Justice is almost like 10 years old. Oh my god, I feel old. Anyway, I think we need another Ace Attorney, and I hope we can get one very soon. I hope we can get another Ace Attorney, because I really want to see what they make. If people are praising the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles so well for how well they made a duology, I just need to see what else they can work on. That's all I hope for. That's all I hope. We'll see. Apparently the reason the protagonist doesn't crash land in Pikmin 4 is because their ship didn't have the ability to leave the planet. on its own anyway, and it's probably smaller than the ships. I mean, it's also, it probably is, like, because it's smaller and there's, like, nothing really forcing it to stay, technically. Like you said, like, it can't leave, so it's also like, oh, well then, we don't need to keep it. It just is here, so we don't gotta worry about it. But it makes sense. It's also just funny that, like, Pikmin 4 is like, play your own character! Anyway, here's the plot. Pikmin 4 be fun. I can't believe Pikmin 4 is... Is it a year old or 2 years old? I don't remember. Fuck. Time is moving so weirdly for me. I don't know how old things are anymore. How old is... It's a year old? Okay, I was like, is it 2 years? Has it been 2 years? It's not been 2 years, right? No. I'm like, that's still a baby. I remember playing it for stream. What do you mean? I feel old. I feel old. My brain is, like, losing brain cells. It's like, bruh, my brain is dying. It's just like, my god, my brain be dead, my brain be dying. Anyway. Chat on the website still talks about how the planet doesn't abide the rules of time. We don't. No. We just. Nope. Apparently, I'm that planet because time is so elusive to me. I lose things and I'm like, well. Damn. Time is, like, lost on me. Why the house is in mint condition and the fruits haven't gone bad? Probably. It explains why. But also, I question the fruit because they go into a lot of the same location. I mean, technically they don't, but they do. But they always find different fruits in preserved condition. Which they get always an assortment of fruits that are, like, not native, or, like, at least mixed together, wouldn't be, like, natively all put together. Like, some of them were, like, not from the same region as others, so it's like, how do all the fruit get to where they are all in the same general area, and all ripe, but they all grow in different locations? Which questions, how did they get to those locations, and how did they, like, mix together in the way that they do? It's like, how do some of them survive underground? Because there are fruit underground, so it's like, and there are species that do eat food underground in Pikmin, so, like, how come the fruits are, like, perfectly preserved underground? And we know that they're fruit because in Pikmin 3 you can juice them, and you get juice out of them. Which means, so they're edible. So if they're edible, how are they underground? And how are they not been eaten by the flora and the fauna? Because if it's underground, the ground would be, like, breaking down the bacteria. Not bacteria, but, like, it would eventually, like, would rot in the ground and then, like, return to the soil. But if they're not being, like, broken down into nutrients, are the animals eating them? Because I'm sure there are animals that are herbivores. Maybe the planet just creates things that are desirable? Mayhaps. It could also explain... Actually, that would make a ton of sense because... maybe it's tied to how the planet is designed to draw people in, so it creates things that are desirable for people to go to said planet. Like, Olimar went back to the planet because he needed money, so it kept giving items for Olimar that would give him money, specifically. Not ship parts, because he didn't need ship parts. He needed money. Like, he needed money. So it got him more items that would give him money. in Pikmin 3, they needed food. So there was, like, the only thing you could collect was food. So it had a bunch of food items that were, like... I think there were, like, a couple of food items in Pikmin 3 that weren't in Pikmin 2. So it created new Pikmin, like, food for them to grab food from. Like, new places to grab food. And then Pikmin 4 was ship parts and finding people. It was, like, ship parts and, like, stuff to, like, build with. So it would make sense that they would have the ability to build certain things, like the environment would generate new materials for them to use to build stuff for their ship, but also equipment and stuff for them to, like, you know, continue on their journey. So maybe the planet is stuck in a stasis of like hyper creation, where it's meant to create things to draw people into this. Like, draw people into the planet for some reason, or at least is able to find that sort of thing. Who'd think that the most confusing entity in the Pikmin universe would be the planet? I mean, it's Earth, so yeah, we would think it's the most confusing thing because we still haven't figured out our Earth. But it also wait a minute, what if it's like this? Hold up. So, in Pikmin 3, the main thing is that Kopai has no food, and they're going around trying to find sustenance for the people. And all the other planets they go to, no one has food for them, because they specifically are fruit eaters. They like fruit. Is it because the planet is absorbing the nutrients from other planets to create what people desire? Maybe it's that the planets are all in a similar stasis to Pikmin, like to PNF 404. But they can't they can't attract what people desire, and maybe that planet is, like, attracting what people desire, like, drawing that stuff to them. I don't know. I'm not the Pikmin expert. It's cool, though. Hey, I gotta stretch. Oh, boy, I gotta stretch. Ow. Oh, boy. Ooh. Ow, it hurt. Crap. I'm going to set this down for now and give myself a minute to just stretch because I'm cramped. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ow. Ow. I can't stretch for fucking shit, man. Ow. Anyway. Ow. Okay. I think I hurt my shoulder, but it's fine. But what Olimar says is interesting. Since he was dreaming of humans or human-like creatures, what if the wraiths were the memories of humans given physical form? I could see that. I could see that. But more so, I think it's... like, the Plasm Wraith is very motherly. Like, it's hinted that the Plasm Wraith thinks of Olimar as its mother. Like, well, not as... thinks of Olimar as its child, basically. So, the Plasm Wraith believes Olimar to be, its child and wants to protect Olimar. So, perhaps maybe the Wraiths are, instead of, like, memories, they are humans themselves. And just are following their desires of what, like, the most primordial desire those specific Wraiths have. Like, the Water Wraith, maybe it's just humans who used to crush, like, people who used to destroy. And considering that there's steamrollers that just destroy everything, they could be a representation of that's how the world ended up, was like, they destroyed everything and nothing is left, and they just kind of, like, have to deal with the consequences. Mayhaps. Who knows? We'll see. I'm just like now tired. I'm probably just gonna like take a second to rest. Let me chill. I probably will unstream soon, or like probably end stream now because being tired, I'm just like, and I gotta get back to work, which I don't wanna, but stream is stream, and time is time. Time is effort, and everything is shit. I don't know anymore. We'll be fine though. I probably will end stream, even though it's only been 2 hours, but I just need to like catch up, you know, take a little bit of rest. This was a good rest moment of me just kind of vibing and having a good time. And tomorrow we're most likely going to be continuing, continuing Catriel because it's stupid. I could not remember for the life of me. It's fine. We're good. We're good. Don't mind me, I'm reading stuff. Chats are going wild and it's kind of intimidating. Anyway, let's see if there's anyone we can raid today. I'm sure there's a couple people. Do you guys have any suggestions on who we should raid? Let me see. We've got, Almanzas, who's doing a little presentation with Luxuria Morningstar. Bell Beeps is playing Another Crap's Treasure. Oceanox is doing art stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I think I'm kind of thinking we could go for Bell Beeps. Bell Beeps is doing Another Crab's Treasure, which is basically a Souls-like, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I think we could go for that. Fun vibes, maybe? Let me see. Yeah, we'll go for Bell Beeps. Anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed stream today. It might have been short, but I'm just, like, exhausted and need to, like, catch back up into my energy. It's been wacky for like, a while, and it's gonna keep being wacky, so I'll do my best to, like, get back into the group of things. If you'd like to join in the raid, here's the raid message. If you're subscribed, here's the sub-raid message. I'm struggling to type and read. Tomorrow, more Layton. We probably will just do one case, but I think it could be good to do two. We'll probably just do the one and didn't do two for the last stream, maybe, and, like, go for 4 or 5 hours. I don't mind, that's good for me. I will be going to rest and then work on stuff, because that's how I need to go. That's just how it is. That's how we need to work, is just work and, rest. Work and rest, work and rest. We fine, though. We chill and vibe. We chill and live. Alright. I will see you guys tomorrow for some more Layton. I'll see you later. Bye!